Hey everyone, it's JB, and guess what? I did a thing, so I don't know if you can see. I got just some nice light little highlights going on. But I have bedhead today, so we're gonna stick with the Rick and Morty hat. Um, right, so do you guys remember like a couple of weeks ago when I sent out a mailing or an email to the mailing list and I was like, we are going to announce the first winner of our free book drawing because it's June and all of that exciting stuff, and then I never did that. So I'm really bad at live streaming. Apparently I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know. For those of you who've been here since like 2016, 2015, when I first started camming, I was not a big fan of it, and I'm still not. That's why I'm like not on Twitch and all of this stuff. But I do want to try to do a live stream at least once a month with you guys, just to sort of like connect and get the vibe. Obviously, there is one person watching me right now. Hi. Um, let's see if I can set up the chat. I want to see all chat. Okay. So I have no idea who's watching me, but hi, thanks for being here. So I have a couple of announcements before I go ahead and announce this month's, or I guess June's, winner of our free book, which is the first book in the Muted trilogy titled Mute by Nikita Spoke. So the update is that I decided to change my pen name to kind of make it a little bit easier because I have like 1,000 names, right? So like for those of you who are still in it for my adult industry stuff and who are still coming to see me at the ranch, it's Brayden. And for those of you who are hanging out with me here, it's JB. And for those of you who are reading my fiction, it's Ivo, and it's too many things. So we're sticking with @boyfriend Brayden for all my adult industry stuff, and @ilettercast as a handle for all of my like website, Instagram, Twitter, all of my author stuff. But I'm just gonna be sticking with JB Lettercast because I really like Lettercast. It's been like the name that I've used as a last name for myself for a really long time. And JB is just a more authentic version of me. The B stands for Brayden. The J stands, I haven't told you guys yet what the J stands for, but you will find out eventually. Uh, if anybody wants to pose or venture a guess, feel free. But I go by JB in my normal life as well. So that's all of that. Right. So let's go ahead and announce the winner, and then I just want to do like a sort of like let's hang out and chat for a second because I want to give you some life updates. All right. So for our winner, we have 26 mailing list subscribers, which is huge because I started out with 0, not counting myself, as the test subscriber. So first things first, I need to add everybody into our little wheel of fortune. And while I do that, I'm going to kind of blabber on mindlessly, because that is what I do. All right, so some of these people don't have their names like listed. So I'm going to just use abbreviations of their screen names. And the same thing, I'm not ever going to use anybody's full name here. Except for, obviously, the indie authors who have signed up for my thing. Because who doesn't want to have a little bit more advertising? Veldino name. we've got one more. Smith. Right. All right, all 26 have been added to our little Wheel of Fortune, and I'm gonna go ahead and record the screen while it goes. We're just on wheelofnames.com. And we're gonna click it to spin. Let's see. There we go. And the winner is Caverty. I can't, that's me. All right, let's try one more and remove that one. I didn't think I was gonna win. I already have access to all of these books. All right. So our winner is Lord Amon, which is a name. If I ever heard one, expect an email from me here shortly, declaring you as the winner. All right, I went ahead and recorded that, so that's good. And we're just gonna minimize that. Actually, do I want to save that? Yes, I do. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background. My partners are watching Justice League, the Snyder Cut. And I'm just over here working on things. Let's see, subscribers 1 through 26. Save. Cool. Okay, so now that all of that's taken care of, and congratulations to Lord Amon, who's going to be receiving a signed copy of Mute in the mail, as well as a bookmark and some other fun stuff. I want to talk about some of the exciting things I have in the works. Obviously, there's some stuff that, oh, I'm so excited about, and I can't talk to you about any of it. None. But there is some other stuff that I'm excited about that I can talk to you about, so I'm going to do that. The first thing, and of course all of this is going to be in the email that I sent to you this week, but the very first thing is at the end of this month, I think the third Friday of this month in particular, the third Saturday of this month, you can expect to see the very first Amazon Vella episode of Old Ladies of the Apocalypse. If you were ever a fan of mine a couple of years back when I first started Old Ladies of the Apocalypse, you may have actually got some sneak peeks for this particular story. Not much has changed. It's the same characters. It's the same plot line. The difference is it's not being co-written anymore. It's just by me. So Kit Branish was my co-author, and he's a wonderful, wonderful person. And he also has so much on his plate right now. He was like, we got to get this story out there. You take over. And so it is still our story, but I'm the one who's writing it. And yeah, basically Old Ladies of the Apocalypse is just... it is like a quirky horror. So like it's the zombie apocalypse, and the only two survivors in this town who haven't been turned or completely disappeared are June and Mavis. And so we have June, who's kind of just... she's fun, you know? She is not the type of person you would expect her to be by looking at her. Because she's very much out there. Well, I guess she is. Her fashion sense is just super extra. She's all about cats and obnoxious knit sweaters. And she's just kind of a subdued person with a very out there fashion sense. And she ends up using her knitting needles to save the day more than once in this story. And then we have Mavis, who is just your crotchety, grumpy old lady who, like, yells at the kids to get off her lawn, and she's very regimented and orderly in the way that she has things set up in her life. And so, needless to say, for both of them, the apocalypse throws them for a loop. Obviously, they're enemies when they meet, and they grow together as a team to sort of fight and combat the horror that is their new life in the zombie apocalypse. And of course, it's not just these two who are along for the ride. We also end up meeting a couple of millennials. So that's Old Ladies of the Apocalypse. It's a little bit of a slow build. I kind of get a little bit cerebral with it. But it does tend to pick up around the third episode, which is kind of where I like my stories to start really getting into it. So, yeah, you'll be able to read on the third Saturday of every month a new episode of Old Ladies of the Apocalypse indefinitely, basically until the story is done. And an episode is around 2,500 words, so a small chapter. And yeah, so that's the first really big announcement that I have. And the second really big announcement that I've got, well, okay, let's give you the bad news first. The bad news is I was working on a paranormal romance to be published with the company that I had been doing the anthologies with. And let me tell you, there's a reason I'm not a romance writer. It just, man, was like pulling teeth. I've had this story idea for quite a while, and I might actually end up contracting someone else to write it because I think it's a really good story idea. But there's a reason why I'm not a romance writer, and it's because give me something horror, give me something spooky, give me something gross. I can write the heck out of that, but give me two people to make fall in love, and I'm 5,000 words into my story, and the characters haven't even met yet. That's where that particular story is at. Maybe as a longer story, maybe not something so short as 10,000 words, but I ended up reaching out to the head of that particular group and just being like, look, I have no idea if this is usable, and I can try to make it usable and make it, you know, something that you can use, but I really don't think it's, we are trying to get orange juice out of an apple here. So I went ahead and stepped back from working with that publishing group, which was going to have that book published, that anthology published at the beginning of next month. So I'm using that time instead to focus on Arachnopocalypse. And Arachnopocalypse is my baby. So, as you all know, my plan for Arachnopocalypse is to go ahead and release it as an omnibus. I published the first two short stories in the Arachnopocalypse universe this basically within the past 6 months. And Arachnopocalypse Violet Winter is the first one. Arachnopocalypse Ochre Spring is the second one. And then I've got Icor Summer, and I haven't officially decided on a name for the fourth and final story in the series, but I'm tossing around Viridian Fall. It is wonderful. I'm so proud, so absolutely proud of Arachnopocalypse. So I've been working on formatting the omnibus for that, and basically what I want it to look like is I want to have art from a whole bunch of different creators inside of this book, sort of like cushioning and wrapping each of the stories. And then also I want to include short 1,000 word like blurb type stories. I don't want to call them blurb stories. I guess they're shorter than shorts. And I want those to be from other authors, not just me, so other people are getting obviously involved in the Arachnopocalypse universe, but also getting their exposure, if you will. So for any of you who read Arachnopocalypse and are like, man, I really enjoyed it and I want to write for a character in that, shoot me an email in response to the email I sent out this weekend on Saturday, or the email that I sent out last a couple weeks ago. I've not been great on getting the emails out every Saturday, specifically because there's not been a lot of development in my writing as of late. I got stuck super duper hard on that paranormal romance, and I'm finally just working myself out of that writer's block, out of that jam. So yeah, there's not really been anything to update you guys on. That's why I haven't sent any emails out. But now there's stuff to update you on. So Right, and then this upcoming Friday, we have Tracy Krause's Three Strand Cord, I believe, is what her story is called, and that'll be what her interview is about. Tracy Krause is just one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. I am so lucky to be able to interview such kind-hearted, wonderful authors. Right, so Three Strand Cord by Tracy Krause is a romance. It's not a polyamorous romance, as you may think. It's actually a Christian romance. So Tracy Krause's tagline, if you will, is fiction on the edge without crossing the line. And so that's what our interview is going to be about this upcoming Friday. And then next Friday, I haven't filmed it yet, but next Friday is going to be, I'm excited, if you can't tell. For the Grimdark Book Club, I will be reviewing Flight of the Eisenstein, which, as you are all aware, is my favorite book in the Horus Heresy series. And then the weekend after that, the Friday after that, we're going to continue the Warhammer hobby videos with a part 2 of the Build With Me Sylvaneth Dryads. So just more putting it together, and let's see, what else do we have coming up? Oh, did I already publish part 2? Hold on, I'm looking at it now. No, I did not. Okay, so yes, that is coming up this upcoming, so not this Friday, but the next Friday, will be a part 2 of the Build With Me, the Sylvaneth Dryads, and this is going to be a little bit more of an ASMR Build With Me, if you will, where we just kind of observe and enjoy the sounds of the hobby. I know that that's a thing for a lot of people, and the goal really with the Build With Me's and the Paint With Me's is going to be, like, you don't have to build alone, you don't have to hobby alone. I know that, especially with the increase in COVID cases in California and Nevada, a lot of us are back to hunkering down, which means that a lot of us are getting a little bit deeper into the hobby again, but also we're not playing as much with each other, so that is going to be the thing. And then the Friday after that, I actually am hardcore considering doing a play with me for Mechanicus. So let me know what you think about that, because that's kind of what I'm looking at doing. Okay, I think that's everything. I will be returning to the Chicken Ranch at the end of this month on the 26th and the 27th of July. Oh my goodness, sorry. I should not have. I opened the internet, like, the other part of the internet, and news popped in my face about, like, political stuff, and I don't want to think about that while I'm talking to you guys. Right, so July 26th and 27th, I'll be back at the ranch, which means that I'll probably not have any new content uploading to my YouTube channel on that weekend, but if I do, I'll let you know. And of course, I'll be doing a live stream again at the end of the month, the last Friday of this month, to announce the winner of our next free book, which, let me go ahead and pull up who that would be, is going to be The Lord and the Cat's Meow by G.L. Robinson. So for those of you who missed that interview, please give it a look. It is the second interview in our Indie Author Connection series. And The Lord and the Cat's Meow is a romance by G.L. Robinson. It's a Regency romance about 2 unlikely lovers, an animal rights activist, and a very wealthy man. So, and of course, a cat named Horace. So feel free to check that out and get pumped for this month's free book. Alright, if you like what you saw today and you want to see more, hit that button down below, subscribe, become a member of the Jackalope Tribe, and earn your antlers, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, here, and Facebook at iLettercast. There are no underscores, there are no dots, there are no spaces, just at iLettercast on all of those platforms. And then, of course, again, nope, I completely lost my train of thought. Right, and then of course, subscribe to the mailing list at ilettercast.com in order to be entered in our drawing for free books, which is once a month. Okay, I think that's everything. There's one more thing, but I'm gonna close out. This is a 20-minute video. That's way too long. All right, remember, you're wonderful. If you're a writer, the world needs your stories. If you're a reader, keep on reading, like, and let us know that you love our books, because that really is all a writer ever wants to hear, is that we made you feel something. All right, peace out. I have no idea how to turn this off.